Hello everybody, it's Mike here at Game from Scratch, and there is a tool making the rounds that was released this weekend that I just had to share here, and there's a couple of warnings I gotta throw right up front. First off, it's barely relevant to game development. I just gotta make that aware right up front. It's used for making music, but as you will see, warning number 2, it's not really all that useful if I'm honest. You still can't really export out your song in any way whatsoever, so you'd have to figure out a way to record your own music. And finally, as you can see from the warning in front of you, it is extremely addictive. It is fun as hell to play around with this thing. So I warn you, before continuing with this video, if you don't have an hour or two of time to waste in the near future, maybe you want to save this one and come back in a little bit of time, because this guy it's just that fun, to be honest. So what we are looking at today is Turtle Audio. Now what happened is some guy basically spent the time to create an audio program that uses the Turtle programming model. Now, if you've never heard of Turtle, it was a very, very beginner-oriented graphics library framework programming language. Back years and years ago, there was a language called Logo, and it used a graphics library called Turtle. And the way Turtle worked is, unlike pixels, you basically drew on screen by moving a turtle around. It was basically like programmatically moving around a mouse cursor to create paths. So a bit like vector graphics, just exceedingly simple. Well, what this guy has done is turned that process into a sound generation program, Turtle Audio. So that's exactly what we're going to look at today. Now, this guy is 100% browser-based. You can go to turtle.audio. There's no .com. The .audio is actually the final extension or the domain. And this is what you get. So here is Turtle Audio, and this is extremely straightforward. Basically, what you are doing is drawing paths. So you see here, we got a closed loop of a T. And you can see down here, these are the instructions to create said loop. And then we can go ahead and play it. And each note has a sound, as you can hear right there. Now, another warning, I'm gonna probably make your ears bleed, as I do in every audio related video ever. But now we're gonna show you how you can basically take that basic note or that basic sequence and create your own and do some really cool stuff. Now, one thing you'll notice right away is down here, we can change out the BPM. So we're working at 120 BPM, and I will for the rest of this demo. But if you want to slow it down or speed it up, that is your option right there. So let's say we want to add a drum track to this guy. So we're going to switch over here to type of drums. We click here for a new line. Shift click somewhere, and we just created our starting point. So this is our turtle on screen. So now what we can do is, using keyboard commands, tell it how to draw. So what I want to do, by default, it's going to start with moving up. So I'm going to do move 3. So it's going to move up 3 squares that way. And then we're going to turn right. So we just do a space, and we'll do a right. And then we'll do a move 5. So then we're going to go there. And then what you'll notice is we're going to draw down through this existing. So what's going to happen is those beats are going to be shared. So I'm going to do that'd be a right. And then we can just do a move, 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 for example, if you prefer it that way. And we'll do a right again, and we'll move, 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 and we'll just do a left just to show you that you can, and then a move, and we'll go back to being right again, and move, move, and then we'll right, and then close our loop off. So that's what we did. We basically just created our own sequence of beats, or a path to create our sequence of beats. Now we move over to Paint. And down here you can see in drum mode, we got to create our sound. Sorry, I should have done that after. So drums. And here we've got less options. We can set our note speed. So each beat is, so if you're working at half speed, I think you'd switch that out to 810. You can change the volume and other different values here. I'll show you in the tutorials later on how you can learn more about that. I'm just going to scratch the surface in this particular video. But now that we're in drum mode, you will see each particular color has an instrument attached to it. So if we wanted to have an acoustic snare every few beats, we just draw along our line like this. And then these ones will play the 2 notes that are already there for that color. And let's switch that out to a clap. So we're just going to do a clap, 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 and clap. So very, very basic sequence. And now you're going to see this guy's going to start right here, but this guy's going to start right here. And they're both going to play now. So there you see, we now have a cool drum beat or percussion beat in the background to go with our original loop. Now, I've just been playing around with this forever, and I haven't really created anything that sounds good because I am as tone deaf as people get. But here is a more complicated example linked to from the original author on his Twitter feed, which, by the way, you can see down here. This is a more advanced example. And it kind of shows you the kind of music you can create using Turtle Audio. And that's kind of it. You know, like we can get in, we can obviously change if we're dealing with synthetic notes. You can change the oscillation type and various different control values on them. And of course, if you want to actually learn more, you can come on down here and get the tutorials. When you are done, you can share out your creation using create URL, and you can send that off to anybody, and then they can play your creation or modify it or add to it. Unfortunately, right now, the only thing really missing to make this actually quite useful is a Wav Exporter, and I can't believe that doesn't exist, because that would be so easy to add to this. But at the same time, if you really like authoring your music this way, you like the sound it generates here, you could, you know, hook up any kind of audio capture, something along Audacity, and basically redirect your PC output to Wav and capture it that way. It's a bit of a hideous workaround, but you could definitely, you know, take the results from this guy and make them into a reproducible sound object for use in games. Now you'll notice down here we've got just a couple of other options. Here you can change up existing lines. So if we want to modify one of these lines, we can do so. See here we can change the rollout there, or we can change the speed or whatever. Here we can, this is what we used earlier to add a new line. So just select that and then shift click where you want the line to begin. This guy here is for painting the various notes, as we saw. That will switch you over to paint mode. Eyedropper is for cloning an existing note or color thereof. And then this guy is for pan. So you select this guy, left click, and hit control, and you can move around on the screen. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any zoom support. I'd love to see that added. But that is essentially it. You add in a zoom support and the ability to export your end result out to a WAV file, and this is actually a genuinely useful program if for some reason you want to create your audio files like you would if you were operating a 30-year-old graphics API. It's kind of dumb and kind of brilliant all at the same time. And I warn you, if you start going in here and start playing around with it, the end results are obscenely fun. There's just something addictive about this tool. So I decided to share it here. Again, tool might be too strong. We'll go with Toycall. The toy and tool, it's somewhere in between. They share two letters at the very least, and it's just fun. So really, if you're just looking for a way to cheer yourself up on a Monday morning, or a Monday afternoon, I guess it is now here, this is a great way to go about doing it. And, you know, very just tangentially related to game development, but it's fun enough I decided to share it. Now, if you want to come in here and learn more about how to use it, obviously you've got a set of instructions right here. It's really quite simple. Your advanced stuff is here in advance. You can see you've got some advanced instructions you can work with and come out with even more controls. So this is all in your whole rules definition. You will notice your help is actually a full screen overlay on what you're working with. Here are your various different keyboard shortcuts, and you will actually find that once you start playing with it, it is an amazingly quick way to actually author a sequence of notes. So even though it seems really dumb to work with a keyboard interface for creating these paths, once you've done it for a few minutes, you're going to be amazed at how quick you can start creating stuff. So yeah, this is Turtle Audio. Definitely not the most cutting-edge tool you've ever seen in your life, but it is a damned fun one. And I do again warn you, once you start going down this rabbit hole, you will have a hard time going away from it. So hope at least some of you guys found that fun. Not sure how many of you are going to find it useful, but at the very least, I hope a number of you do find it fun. So did you check out Turtle Audio? Did you have fun with it? Do you have any history of working with Turtle graphics? That sounds strange every time I say it, like there's another company named that, but I don't think there is. But did you ever work with Turtle graphics in the past? If so, does this ring nostalgic for you like it does for me? If not, does this all just seem absolutely insane to you? Let me know, comments down below. All right, talk to you all later. Goodbye.